challenge? Okay, everybody's feeling sleepy? You're all going to let you sleep. So of course we have the test, but we also have a very interesting speaker coming up next. I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Naresh Purohit, Regional Manager for VMware. He'll be talking today about leading the next generation of IT. So please welcome on stage Mr. Naresh Purohit.
I'm audible? Not for this initial photo. I'm audible? Yes. So, good afternoon. Don't worry. There are a lot of people who know me. So they by this time they are just talking about, oh again it's Naresh Purohit. The first thing is your So it is like first of all having good lunch from yours and then making yourself awake. There are two tough tasks which you have to hold. Right? But that's the reason 9.9 have selected you here. Because they know whom to pick, why to pick, and where you have to take, where they have to take you. So hope with this you will listen me carefully. If you are not going to listen me, after 40 minutes there will be a test. The results will make you awake then. So it is your goal now. You want to keep after having, because I think we have kept this good food so that people should be sleepy and they should not score more, so that they can identify easily the right person for their next round of CIO. Okay? So it is my personal advice to all of you. Don't get into the taste of your food. Please be with me. Wherever you feel sleepy, raise your hand. I'll have some joke for you. Okay? Great. So, somebody was discussing with me, is it possible to switch off this light?
Yeah, please.
Excuse me.
Off कर दो.
Yeah, but we can't do the video.
Is it?
Yes, fine.
Then
No, you can't escape the light.
I don't want to be in front of light. Yeah, anyhow, so that is the first of, So IT, all of you know what IT comprises of. IT managers, IT admin, right? Or something else. Infra, storage, networking, security. Every time, whenever you go, probably by this time you have attended thousands of sessions on IT. Everywhere you will find either compute, storage, security, networking. Today, we are not touching in depth of these infrastructure details. We are touching where it is heading up. So, why we should discuss this? Is there any necessity of that? It is just because we are part of this next 100 CIO, you are bound to listen this. No, it is a need of hour now. And it is being proven by Gartner. There are 10 business priorities against which your technology priority is getting aligned. Because if your business is not taking any benefit out of your technology initiative, a business will not fund it in case if next time you are going to fund any of the project from business. So these are the priorities which you can see on screen. Numbers are not visible because of some color problem. So I'll pick the critical one, mobile technology. Why we should talk about this mobile technology? Because in case if you want to deliver the operational results, if you really want to bring some operational excellence in your environment, there is no second thought that you have to bring mobility for your IT infrastructure. What I mean by mobility, my next subsequent slides will have those. The critical aspects of every IT manager, senior manager, CIO, that how can you reduce cost, right? And whenever you talk about cost, you will find multiple reasons and multiple technologies to reduce the cost. But the easiest technology which you can adopt in your data center or in current infrastructure, that is cloud. Without interrupting anything in your data center, you can opt for cloud. So technology is being evolved up to that extent where today you don't have to think of anything, just swipe your card and get your cloud computing for your business. But is it reliable? Is it a right decision? So for that we are going to discuss today. Last but not least, how I can retain my workforce. Because building a resource in an organization is not a HR job, where they will have a right candidate associated with IT team or finance team or a project team. It is IT is also contributing to retain that resources which is being hired for an organization to deliver some results. So today, is it possible to ask questions here? Are you okay to respond in so that you will be awake? And the moment I am asking question, so please be aware of the same question might be coming in your exam. So be attentive. Okay? A small hint. Great. So Giri will excuse me for that. I am leaking some of the questions here. So how many of you will be interested in case if it will be given a choice that you can work from anywhere? Everywhere. So why am I asking this question? Everybody wants that, everybody knows this, but how I can deliver it in my current infrastructure? Can we take a call today with my current infrastructure? I can bring that technology in my data center? It is difficult. It is not that easy to talk about. So what is the technology which is helping us to bring that kind of innovation in my business where people can, they can vouch for the technology that I am working with that technology. So classic example was when, we were doing a study and what we found, today people, when they were about to go for a campus interview, most of the time people, they were looking into the company growth, what kind of a benefit it gives, right? So it was a story 3 years or 4 years before. But today, if you talk about the generation, what they think before getting into an interview is one, what kind of a work-life balance that company offers. All of you agree? If somebody will pay you X amount, but they will not ensure that you have to work only for 8 hours, at least I will not work for that. Right? Life is life. The same thing, if company gives me that options where I can work 24 hours with that company, but it is on my discretion where I will work and how I will work. So it is like mobility. So again, it is coming to that moment. Today, most of our applications, where which company I am representing here is, where we are no more bound to a physical PC. I can have all my applications, all my productive tools on my handheld, or not, at least on a web I can access and I can work. So these are the innovation which is happening, and Gartner has highlighted these 10 points. Out of these, I am highlighting these 3 which I am going to talk today. Okay? So, all my old friends, they might have seen this client-server architecture, right? There was a client, there was a server. We were completely dependent on server guys. That when server will be accessible, there will be a medium where I will connect to that server, and then probably I can access my application. But today, do we have that leverage in case if I want to host an application that I can wait for that server infrastructure to be provisioned in my data center, and then probably I should wait for 1 month or 2 months of a time. By the time your competitions might have brought up that product which you are thinking right now. All of you understand from where I am coming up? So it is time to take initiative. You have some ideas, but till the time you are not able to implement it, it is of no use. Idea is idea. Till the time you have not made it as a reality. So making that reality itself is a big challenge, because still you are bound to this. You were bound to this server client architecture, but nowadays we are going to a new IT infrastructure which is apps and OS agnostic. Your apps are no more dependent on data, apps are no more dependent on operating system, and apps are no more dependent on any of the infra. They are cloud ready and they are accessible on any of the device, because they don't have any stickiness. They are no more bound to any server, they are no more bound to any application, they are no more bound that data, let's say PowerPoint. PowerPoint, for accessing PowerPoint, I should be having PowerPoint application in my handheld or any of the devices, right? Today, if you go to the cloud applications, you don't require PowerPoint to be installed in any of the device. You can access your PowerPoint on a web, you can do the changes, you can save and you can present. So that kind of innovation is going forward, and we are helping our customer to have that technology in your data center without any interruption. So how we are doing it? So we are touching 3 parts of data center. So the first part is, every time you will hear that what kind of efficiency you are having in a data center. If you have already done a project, the first question will come up, I have given you X dollar. What was the outcome of that X dollar, right? If you are going to ask X dollar, you will be questioned that where you are going to invest and what will be the return. So efficiency with agility. These are the two words which you will hear everywhere whenever you are talking about any new IT initiative. So to bring that, today we are not going to talk about virtualization. The moment people have seen me, probably they were just thinking, oh, again, virtualization. So I am not going to talk about virtualization. Virtualization is already de facto now. Okay? It was like Colgate Bata. So what is Colgate? Who said it? It's a brand. Alright? Bata. What is this? What it is? Bata is? I'm sorry? It's a shoes, yeah. Who said brand? So you're understanding from where I'm coming up? The same thing. So when we are talking about virtualization, so people have seen here, I'm not going to talk about virtualization. What next? Virtualization has given what kind of benefits you could have thought of that is already placed in data centers. So today we talk about software defined data center. What it does, that is there in subsequent slide, and how I can bring my choice with control in my data center by having hybrid cloud. So what is this hybrid cloud? Why we should opt for cloud? These will be our discussion point. And the last is how I am going to access that from my devices. How I can bring my mobility to my end users with security. Because I don't want to have any of the security compromise in case if I am giving that application to my end users. So with this, why I should do software defined data center? Because by this time you have already realized that virtualization is taking exponential growth. If you see, within 3-4 years it has grown, and today it is into that situation where most of the people, their 60 to 70% of application is already virtualized, and by 2015 we are expecting that it will be more than 80 to 90%. So when we have that kind of adoption for virtualization, and there are some challenges which people are apprehended in terms of talking about those challenges. So today we will discuss those challenges. Being a IT owner or IT manager, how you can mitigate those challenges. So that will be our discussion points. But with virtualization, when we were doing discussion with our CIOs and IT managers, we found that selling a virtualization story within organization is not a challenge, because it is quite easy and it is quite compelling to go. So how I can go for virtualization journey, it was a question most of the time people they ask. So when we have done for our existing customer study, what we found that most of our customers, they were having 3 phases of a journey. It is not that today somebody will wake up and he will say, I want to have something like cloud or something like virtualization, I will do it. No. It is a strategic initiative which is having its own journey, and you have to follow that journey. So what is the journey? So the first phase where people, they most of the time, what they do, they yeah. So it is a slide. If you see, good observation. This is in 2012. 2013, still we are in between. I can't present the actual numbers. It was the projected number when this slide, if you see, it is right now June 11. So we are sitting in September, it is more than that, right? So it is a number given. I don't want to give a wrong number. These are the numbers which come from Gartner. So these are the numbers which we were expecting. These numbers 80%, it might go 90%, it might go 70%. These are the projected track, and I am not showing these current numbers. I am showing this graph. So my intent from this slide is, as is rightly pointed out, the growth here. People have adopted it in exponential way by seeing the return on investment, by seeing the TCO coming out of this. Is it clear? This is a projected numbers. It is not the actual numbers. These are the actual numbers which I am showing you. So if you see here, every year there is 7 to 9% or 10% of a growth which I have seen. So if you talk about 13 and 14, they are projecting numbers which we are talking. But actual numbers are more than that. So if you see, there is one more slide here which I have removed. So it was one slide which I want to, because I don't want to give you a VMware number. I am here not to sell VMware. I am giving you a technology in terms of virtualization and what next after virtualization. So there is one more slide here is 84% of workload which is running in any of the data center which we have done a study. They are running on VMware. So idea here was, this was the actual number and 84 was the number which we have done a study in Ghana. Does it answer the question? Thanks, it's a nice observation. But guys, don't worry, no question from that slide. Huh? So you can have a nap. Good. But there might be one question from here, so be attentive. So phase 1, where we will do the consolidation. When we are talking about consolidation, that nobody will take a decision about infrastructure overnight. You should have a study, you should have a proof point that what I am doing in my data center and how it will bring me to that journey or to end result which I am thinking of. So the first thing, the moment you will do IT production virtualization, which is a consolidation, you save huge amount of your capex because it's quite obvious, right? 10 servers, you reduce it to 2-3 servers, your capex get reduced immediately. In second phase, we bring automation. When we are saying automation, so what we are doing here is we are bringing down the business critical application also to be virtualized, because now by this time your management, your users have realized that what kind of a benefit this virtualization can bring in. And the last, which every IT manager or every organization is having a vision, that I want to make my IT as a services. I don't want this to be a cost center, I want to make it as a profit center. How I can do that? So with this, we empower IT by bringing self-service, we bring automation, all the things which you are thinking of, it will get automated and self-service. So these are the three paths which our organization choose. And if you see the numbers again, when we have done a study with IDC, so these are the numbers which we have seen that in 2008, 47% of new apps people were virtualizing on a VMware. But in 2012, that growth has gone up to 71%, and we are thinking, we are assuming right now that our goal by this time with our technology, with our innovation will be 99%. Okay? Why 1%? Because of legacy application, because of some restriction from hardware side where there are some applications which is very sticky to hardware which you can't virtualize. So with this, why we should do the virtualization? These are the benefits which we have, I have concluded in this slide. It is the numbers which everybody has seen. Hardware, software, maintenance cost drastically reduces. Your time to provision, your IT admin time to deliver services which get reduced, because now where he has to work for 2-3 servers, now he can work for 100 servers. If it is being virtualized, because there is one console where he can manage all 100 servers. So these are some statistics which you will find on VMware portal or Forrester portal, that these are the benefits which is being already realized by the companies, and they are publishing those results with our case studies. Now, why I have shown you all this stuff? This is the story which was till virtualization. What we have done with virtualization is, there is one server, we have abstracted the compute. When I am talking about compute, it was CPU and memory, right? We were doing the virtualization for CPU and memory. So if I was able to abstract that hardware, where we were having a CPU and memory, we have abstracted it, we are putting some layer which is hypervisor layer, and then we are taking leverage of that. So today there is no correlation of your operating system and apps to the hardware. Today you can replace your hardware at any point of time with virtualization. So this is the thing what we have done with compute side. Think of, if you will do the same abstract tool and automate to the entire data center. When I am saying entire data center is, there is no stickiness to any hardware, be it a network, be it a security, be it a management, whatever you have in your data center, if you will abstract that computing and we will pool that, and then if you automate it, what kind of a result you will get. So now our focus is, we want to touch each and every component in your data center. What we have done with hardware side, now the same thing complete data center. And in data center, what we are doing is we are bringing software defined data center. So when we are saying software defined data center, what it will do, all the services in your data center, which you can think of, which is a essential part of your business, which is a essential part of your infra, will be software driven. How we do that? So this is a typical data center silos, right? There will be different operating systems. They will have their own disk, network, firewall, and you are managing it from different consoles. So today, if you want to have Windows, you will have manual intervention in terms of bringing these all resources. So what we are doing right now is we are abstracting it, we are pulling them, and we are making it as software operable. When I'm saying software operable, now software will take up over what kind of a storage, what kind of availability services, what kind of a network services, what kind of a security services should get associated with any of the virtual machines. So by the time I will move to the next slide, how many of you are aware of any of the virtualization? So that you know next slide will have a relevance here. Most of the people, right? So why I have asked this question? Because next slide will have more clarity on this. So what we are doing here is now software data center, software defined data center will create virtual data center within your organization, which will have its own required component, disk, compute, networking, firewall, load balancing. And it will be pooled, and at any point of time, if I want to have any Windows, Linux, database, mission critical application, whatever application you have in your data center, it will go to the virtual data center and it will get associated with required services. Why we are doing it? Because when we were having a physical infrastructure, so what we used to do, there are the weeks which is required to provision a physical server. If today I want to have one database server, not today, without virtualization, if I want to have one database server, generally it will take 2 to 3 days time to take it from vendor, provision it, do the hardening, all the stuff, right? But with virtualization, what we have done, we have reduced it to some days, some minutes. Today you click, you will get your virtual machines with Windows with update or SQL database. But can I use the database after getting this provision? So today, if you create a virtual machine with all the resources, can you use that? There are a lot of people who will say that I can use that, but there are some hidden services which you have to provision that. And these are the services. You have to attach storage, you have to make it highly available, you have to give the right networking, then you have to associate the right security policy, then you have to associate the right management console so that it can monitor. We can monitor it, right? These all components are in silos. You have to go to your management team, you have to go to your security team, and by the time you will get everything, it is again days or some 72 hours or 48 hours depending upon what kind of a change management process and TAT you have within our organization. So what VMware has done, why can't we do away with these stickiness of these all components, which is essential part of my infra. So what we have done, we have abstracted these from physical hardware. So what we have done, rather than having homogeneity in terms of network, that I will have only X brand of a network, because you might have heard about, right? If there is one X vendor, it is people will be apprehended in terms of bringing any Y vendor. There will be an intra-operability issue. There will be some configuration issue, skill set issue, because my team is well versed with that kind of a vendor or that kind of a iOS or that kind of a networking concept, right? So what we have done, we are no more bind to any physical infrastructure. We have abstracted it so that we can bring heterogeneity in your environment. So when I am saying heterogeneity means I am now more dependent on hardware. So how we do that? By creating a software layer which will control all the services in virtual data center. So what traditionally happens, when you create a virtual machine, it will not be created on infra, it will get created on virtual data center, and that virtual center will have its required services already in place. So this is all about software defined data center. So industry is now moving towards software defined data center post virtualization. Virtualization is already what kind of benefits we have thought of. It is already been there. Now we are thinking bringing some more innovation to the data center. That's the reason the software defined data center is there. So with this, all sleepy friends, please wake up. This will have some questions here. Why we are doing this software defined data center? Because when you were having those silos which I have shown you in my last slide, a lot of So when IDC was doing a study, what they found, 70% of our time, when I'm saying I'm sitting on your side, is going on in only managing my infrastructure. Because there will be some problem in some of the place, and there are a lot of interdependency in terms of if I'm entering something on network, it will complicate some other component, right? So it is always a challenging task. So by doing software-defined data center, I am bringing innovation to my business. Why? Because now my 70% of time, which is the industry average, will get reduced. So industry is, when study is being done, most of the time it is 20 to 30% of time is being kept only for innovation. It is not being kept. You don't have choice, because that is the only time when you can think about any new project or any new thing. 70% of time you will be always engaged for your transactions. With this, now transaction will get reduced, your silos environment will get consolidated, and everything will get controlled by software. So, no need to read all these. I will just give you a glance. Business challenges. When we were doing the study, business will ask some innovation. Business will ask business will always have a demand. As an IT manager or as an IT organization head, I should have that agile infrastructure. The moment business is demanded, I should be able to cater that. Rather than thinking that I will procure some more hardware, I will shuffle some of the workload from one server to the other server, something like this. I should have that already in place in my data center, where I can take all these initiatives on the click. And I can also reduce my cost. With this, when study is being done, these are some numbers, which is drastically you can save if you are having software-defined data center infrastructure in your data center. Cost reduction, security. Most of the time it is an overlooked part. Can I have a security control when you have virtual infrastructure? Most of the time people will neglect it, because in one server, because earlier it was a physical server, right? Controlling that physical security or logical security was a bit easy. But today in one server there are more than 100 servers. So is that my legacy way of handling that security will sustain with my business? No more. So with software-defined data center, that software itself will take care that what kind of a service you want to deliver and what kind of action I have to take. That is all automated. So these are the business challenges which we have seen. Cost reduction in terms of bringing agility and bringing the right security for right application for right country. So this was the software-defined data center. Now we will talk about cloud. So there are, all of you have heard about private cloud, public cloud, and the last one is hybrid cloud. So what do you feel? Which is if you have been given a chance, which cloud you will choose? This side. This side? Somebody will say public? Great. Anybody will say private? Very good. I am really impressed the way I got the response. But by the way, why we should opt for hybrid cloud? Because of cost only? Business continuity, but can't I have my business continuity in my private cloud itself? Because see, it is a very debatable question. Why I was asking this is because I don't want you to awake. I want you should be with me when I am taking this slide. So this is not a slide where we will talk about that you should have public, private or hybrid. Today we are talking about, most of the time I think most of you are owning some hardware within your data center, right? You have a better control on your own stuff which you are managing. So whenever people they start their cloud journey, so they have only two options. Either they should build a private cloud or they should immediately go for public cloud. Because nobody thinks about hybrid cloud the day first, because there are a lot of dependencies. You can't operate in just the way you have responded back. Why? I'll take it. And cloud is no more that when when we talk about cloud, most of the time people they say, hey man, cloud is swipe a card, get a virtual machine. This is not a cloud. Cloud is something else. So cloud is when you are talking about self-manageable, self-provision, self-automated, and I can have at the right paying for that. All of you agree? So, with this slide, if you are having a software-defined data center, all of the customer will not go for a cloud, but still they can have a cloud functionality. How? So there are two paths. Why we are going for cloud is because I want to make IT as a services. If today somebody wants to consume IT, he should know that what kind of infra I am taking from IT and what kind of charges I will be incurring in case if I am availing this service. And as an IT, I should know that these are the departments which are consuming these ITs and these are the expenses of these infra in case if that infra is being availed or given to that particular department. So one way is you should go to the cloud, whatever cloud you want to go. You will become, your IT will become as services. There are some second ways also there, where we say, you manage what you have done. When I am saying manage means that you have done the virtualization, you have brought up some network virtualization, you have brought up some storage virtualization, but can you manage it efficiently? Today, if somebody or your CFO will ask that, you have been given that budget last financial year, how much it is being used, and if you have used completely, what kind of a utilization it is having. I'm sure that most of the time you will go to your system admin and you will grab some reports and you will frame it out in PPT and then you will present it, right? But is there any logical or a foolproof way to present it? One. Second, can I see that efficiency or can I bring that efficiency in my data center? If yes, still I'm cloud ready. So with this, there is a new approach which we have to adopt. So these are the traditional approach where you will have rigid and complex infrastructure management tool, where your apps will get managed by some apps management tool, infra will get managed by some infra management tool, network will get managed by some network management tool, this will get, or storage will get managed by some. So there are multiple consoles to manage your multiple infra. And if something happens to apps because of storage, you will go to the storage guy will say my LAN is healthy, there is no problem from storage, right? I think all of you have that challenge, but can you give it back to the business that, hey business, right now it is not my problem, it is not a problem from IT, it is problem from some other department. You can't say that because you have to own that problem. So how I can think of these resolutions on a click away. So what we have done here is no more script based management. It is all policy based management. When I am saying policy, everything will have its log centralized to one point. You can see the correlation between your infra, which is any of your compute and apps, and your management tool will be well aware of about apps and infra both. So today, if your database is having high IOPS or high latency, you can find it out just because of my concurrent user or it is just because of my storage not responding to that IOPS. And this policy-based automation will take a call. If it is because of disk IOPS, so automatically it will move your workload from that high IO intensive disk to low intensive disk which you have configured. You don't have to do anything. So what it will bring? It will bring that kind of agility in environment that you will not have any challenge for business in terms of slow response to your application. This is one of the attributes which I am telling you. There are thousands of attributes. In addition to this, the management view. So today my CFO, what he wants to see? My CFO wants to see, am I efficient in my data center? It will give you what kind of efficiency score you are having. So if it is say 38, it means there are 70 or 62% of your resources are not being aligned properly and those are inefficiently working. You can drill down a report which are these 62 workload which is creating a problem. It is not a problem which is being created, it is which are underutilized or overutilized. You can find out your efficiency. Now why they are underutilized or overutilized? Health will give you that pictorial view with color code. And you can have your senior management view where you can drill down and you can find out what is happening in my infrastructure. Done. Not only that, it will also give you a predictive analysis where it will tell you if you are sustaining right now. If today you are sitting in this forum and if yesterday you could have seen this dashboard, it will tell you that by next 3 days there is no risk in your infrastructure. And there is a 4th day where I am suspecting that this application is consuming your disk IOs with the trend where this storage will sustain only for next 7 days. Either you should add some disk or add some compute to that storage so that it can sustain that much of I/O. So it will take care of that. So as a business owner, I can have a right picture of my infrastructure. No more I am dependent on IT. So now we'll talk about, so that was the part in case if you don't want to opt for cloud. But you don't, if still you want to have that kind of functionality, enhancement and that kind of a robustness what cloud offers in your infrastructure without opting for cloud. So that was the policy based management. Now we'll talk about private and public cloud. So now we will discuss that part. So in public cloud, it is very easy to swipe and get it. But can I get it back in my infrastructure if today I want to take it back? There is a whole lot of processes and there is a lot of compatibility issues. Because that guy who is offering you public cloud, you have to ask public cloud guy that I want to host my this application on that particular platform. Are you okay with this? Otherwise, he will host it on the least open source or whatever. He will only commit you the SLA. That I will give you a SLA of 99.99% of uptime, and he will give you a penalty. That in case if I am not able to sustain it, I will be incurring that penalty. But do you feel that penalty will help you as a business owner? So there are a lot of studies you might have seen in CIO magazines, in a lot of articles, that SLA is not the things which you can think of. You have to bring that broadness of thinking that SLA will not help by just putting on a paper. It should be on a infrastructure. So that's the reason when you talk about SLA, the stringent SLA, more than 70% of people they opt for private cloud. Everything is in your control, everything is controlled and managed by your own, where you have that flexibility. Now, if you are going to opt for public cloud, you should have a seamless extension of your existing data center to the public cloud. So do you have that kind of a tool? If not, start thinking of that. So in case if you want to have a seamless extension, so these are the 4 components which you should think of. One, you should be able to have the same management and orchestration layer. When I am saying same management and orchestration layer is, today if my users are accessing some workload from one portal, the moment I will give because the trust you were talking about, that time he will have a different console, right? So you have to make him aware that how it should be used, right? People will have a lot of apprehension. If you can have a same portal which can give you public and private cloud offering, that will help. Second is unified network. Today you are running on some X VLAN. Can you get the same X VLAN on the other side of the public cloud? He will not. He will have its own networking. So you should think about this. That network extensibility should be there in your solution, in your business proposal. Security. How it is secure, the way it is being kept into my private cloud. Will I get the same security level in my public cloud also? So you should have the same extension model which you are running in private and public. Last, you have A vendor, you have B vendor. When there is a problem, A vendor will say, problem is with A or B. Everybody is okay. Good. So you should have that kind of a support mechanism where you call up one guy, he should own your problem. Right? And most of the time when these kind of expansion is being planned, there is a strategic view. You bring all your strategic owners, you take what you are looking for your business, then you plan for POC, then you plan for your final business proposal, and then you get into execution. All of you agree? So most of the time I have seen people cloud, because why people they opt for hybrid cloud and public cloud? From my experience, business will come and he will say, I want this infra in the next 4 hours. You don't have any other choice left, you will go, swipe the card, you will get it. If you are not giving, business himself will go there and he will do that. Agree? He will just inform you, I have taken these resources from this guy because my business was critical, I want to launch this service. By this time competition is about to launch, I can't wait, I have already launched. Now you manage it. It will be given to you as a gift. Then you will always struggle to manage that and that guy, and then you will bring the hybrid cloud kind of environment because you have to manage both the things. So please consider all these stuff as a business owner. With this, what you get any application from any place with complete peace of mind, with complete control and security. Now, should I do it with software defined data center only with VMware? No. if today somebody is sitting that, and he's thinking that I should be bind to one guy, I will fly, no. We should have a heterogeneous environment in our infrastructure, which will give you a complete agility in your infrastructure. If today there is some problem, at least you will have some other functions running, and you don't have all the size fit for every requirement. So what we are saying is, in case if you have a private infrastructure which is running on vCloud, physical infrastructure, non-VMware infrastructure, we are okay with that. You can have your public cloud on any of the VSPP. VSPP is a VMware service provider program where you have VMware cloud run by some SCL, CSE. These are the VSPP program. They are our program partner. OpenStack, somebody is running OpenStack and somebody is running Amazon. You can move your workload from here and there, yes, with complete security. So what we have done, this dynamic ops and vCloud network and security and this area, we have brought up this network virtualization in your data center. And this automation center will take care of automation and single orchestration across private and public cloud. So you don't have to worry that people will have two screens, people will have two demo portal. No, they will have only a single portal from where they can manage any private, public or intra-operating between public and private. So again, business challenges. No need to read complete English, I'll take you through. Network configuration is the stringent component in your data center. If you are planning to have any of your cloud, always think about network. Then, today if your business comes and say, I want to host this application on cloud, the first question you should ask is that application is cloud ready? Your understanding when I am saying cloud ready, it should support multi-tenant environment where multiple tenant or multiple users can access it. So don't ever take that idea, okay, cloud is good, it will save cost. No. You will opt for cloud and then you will invest thousands of dollars just to sustain it. Performance and availability. How it will ensure me that whatever performance is being asked by business, it will cater. Support, which is the critical part. In case if application is not working or infra is not working, who is the right guy to be contacted and what is the contingency plan and availability which they offer. Then last, business is always in a hurry to have their services without even informing IT. So in case if you have that kind of environment in your infrastructure, then you should always offer that kind of a public cloud vendors where you can have an intra-operability between your private and public. Tomorrow if business wants to have that offerings to be back in your data center, you should have that operability. You should not land up into that situation where after 10 months business comes and say, hey man, now my business has grown, that services needs to be bring back in my data center. I can't host it to my public cloud vendor. So that time you should take care of this. And these are the challenges and these are the benefits which you will get in case if you are going with any of the hybrid cloud services. So just to introduce you that we have our VMware hybrid cloud services now. So I will not talk about in detail, but it is in US now, and in 2014 now VMware will have its own public cloud offering where you can have a hybrid and public cloud integration seamless. But it is not that broadly I have given you all the pain point business challenges. If you are opting for any of the cloud, please take right strategic decision according to your business requirement. So what we are saying here is, if you are saying apps is having a problem, if you are going here and there. So today when we have launched this VCH services, now apps are no more dependent on public and private because it is running on vSphere. Till the time vSphere can run, vSphere is our product, can run apps, it will be seamless from public to private, private to hybrid, any movement. So last. So at the end of the day when we are doing this all innovation, it is being done for whom? It is being done for whom? Who is accessing those services? End users, right? If my end users are not willingly wants to have their services, what they are looking for, whatever changes we have done in infrastructure is of no use. So, as an IT owner, the first challenges which you will face in your IT infrastructure is managing your PCs and laptops. So, managing these PC and laptops, you have Windows desktop apps, they are running through PC cycle management tool which will control all these devices. But if you see this, there are a lot of devices like tablets, smartphone, thin clients. People will come and they will say, I have my tablet, can I connect it to my office network? You can't say no. At least at a user level you can say no. But the very next day your CFO or CIO will come and say, I want to use Apple tab, right? Can you connect it to my mails or all business applications? That time your business and your infra should be in cohesiveness that you can pay to the services which is being asked. So to manage this, what you end up, that time for mobile apps you will have some MDM solution. For having SaaS application integration, you will have some IT federation. Having some data on cloud, you will have some cloud services for sharing and then collaboration. Every company will, even IT Next is having their Facebook collaboration, right? Whatever you are doing here, tomorrow it is going to get published there. You have your application here, you can access it, what is happening here. So that kind of a collaboration is now needed for our. And every company will have their Facebook pages. So whatever you are doing on your company portal, it should get linked to your any of the collaboration. To manage these all things, being an IT owner, do you feel it's an easy task? It is not. And to manage these all applications down the line with this federated view of technology is again a difficult. So what we have done is, for having management for physical stuff, we have said that you keep two things separate. One, managing your physical PC and desktop. There should be a window management and delivery console or mechanism. And for managing all other stuff, there should be a multi-device era where you will have all the device, any device which you can talk about, Android, Apple, iOS, any device, Windows, you should be able to access any of the services. So you should have one desktop management and laptop management, and other is multi-device workspace management. Whatever, there are thousands of applications and software vendors who is having they are pioneer in different area, but you should think about a single console management. Now, so there is a suite available, and user suite. VMware is having Horizon suite, somebody will have a different suite, but there should be a single management console for you to take your journey where you can have a mobility and security. Mobility for your desktop, mobility for your multi-device. So what we have done here is, there is a Horizon view which is for physical desktop. So in virtual desktop. In case if you want to manage your virtual desktop, then there is a product by the name of Horizon View. There is a separate product to manage your physical desktop, which is Horizon Mirage, where it will manage your physical desktop as it is like your virtual desktop. And the last is Horizon Workspace, which will manage your BY coding, where you can have any device connected to your network. It will have data and apps federated on your device without compromising any security. So what VMware is, today thinking of, that it is multi-device era. You are not into that situation where you can restrict in an organization that I will allow only a physical desktop, I will not allow tablets. No. If today you are having that policy going forward, you have to amend that policy because the user will force you. By this time, why can't you make your IT, IT into that situation where they can cater any of the demand which end users are asking for. So what we are doing here is, you talk about any collaboration tool, you talk about any enterprise application, you talk about any SaaS-based application, whatever is business requiring, you can plug it and put it into any of the devices. That kind of infrastructure you should have for your IT. So what we are doing out of this is, for people, it is consistent access of data and apps. For IT, it is truly integrated. So as an IT or as an owner of my IT organization, I will have a true integration of my physical device management, virtual device management, and BYOD. Any device you take in, there will be one console to manage everything. Last, why should I share my personal photo with my business? There should be a separation of my work profile and my personal profile within the device, right? Rather than keeping two mobile or two workstation or two tablet, one for my personal use, one for my official use, it is next to impossible. So for that, there should be a separation within the device. So we can do that. Choice, I should not be stick to one device, and at any point in time, I can move from any device to any. Policy, so VMware is having a very clear defined policy is, we follow the users, not the devices. Whatever device you want to bring, but your identity will control what needs to be given to you what needs to be accessed by you and what kind of activity you can do on that application. So with this, you can have your IT as a services by doing software defined data center. You can carry software defined. What it has done, you don't have a choice. Workforce mobility and your still hardware contributes a lot. So workforce mobility and hybrid cloud. So these are the things which is happening in the new IT era. So that was my whole constitute which I want to share my idea and thoughts. I'm coming, man. So these are the three areas which right now IT and industry is moving ahead. So I have tried all my best to cover that. This is a complete product portfolio. I will not be able to cover this in detail, but whenever you have time, please go to VMware.com. You will get this stack. It is per processor based licensing at any point of time if you want to have any of these products. So it looks like a lot of blocks, but these are all in one part. It is one product number which will give you. These are the different functions. The only thing which I want to cover is this you have already done, physical infrastructure to virtualization. These two components will help you to bring network virtualization and storage virtualization. This component is whatever management console you have. We can integrate with that, and we can give you a predictive analysis for your business, where we will give you only three parameters. What is your health? What is your risk which you are incurring down the line, and what kind of efficiency you are having in your data. The last is extensibility. So when I am saying extensibility, you can have your any portal integration with any of these two. If you have any existing one management tool for your internal IT, you can integrate with that and we can have the same what you are having right now. So finally, why VMware? No need to cover because we are able to save a lot of dollars. That's the reason we have been talking on this every day on this. The last is now you can virtualize everything. So we are not focusing only on the compute side. We are focusing on each and every component which you can think of. Because when we have done something on the server side, we were able to save 60 to 70% of your capex and 40 to 60% of your opex. Think about if you extend the same extensibility of abstract tool and automating your network storage and security, what kind of ROI you will get, right? So net result, you bring efficiency in your data center. There is complete agile environment with complete control, and the last is without sacrificing any choice. You can have any of your choice of devices to access your infra. With this, I'm done. Do you have a 5 minutes?
Yeah, just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of questions.
So it is time to wake up.
Yeah. No questions, then we assume you understood everything or nothing. Only two of them.
So at least ask one or two questions at least. I should be satisfied. Yeah, people were.
So Nilesh, can we have it free? That is the first question. You can say.
Otherwise, I'll ask question. No, it's a fair feedback. In case if you have something to be discussed, I'm around for another 1 hour or 2 hours. We can have a discussion during tea time. But it is the way their industry is moving, and we have to catch up with the pace. Otherwise, somebody else will take out the. So no questions? Yeah.
The way we calculate ROI, because we always talk about ROI, technical and all these things, but we don't actually have that visibility how to calculate that.
So there are two things for our ROI calculation. So if you go to the VMware portal, there is application ROI and things to calculate. Where you have to give your internal IT costs, it will calculate all the ROIs for you. When I used to do for my customers, what we used to do, we capture the data for your hardware cost, for your software cost, your AMC cost, your power, cooling, and the space cost. So these are the 3 or 4 components which will immediately give you a ROI in terms of reduction of your actual operational cost, right? Then it comes to the capex. So in capex, after 3 years, you are going to either wipe it out or you will have a refresh for your hardware, right? Whatever infrastructure cost you are incurring during that time, we can have that cost and then we can have a solution where we will give you a break-even point that whatever cost you are incurring right now, if you will incur with the current solution, after 6 months you will get it back with ROI, and then you will be sustaining that ROI for 67% every year on year. So So these are the two ways. One is manual calculation, which I can sit and I can share my template with you. Second is automated way, where you can go to the portal. There is a, on Google, go and just write VMware ECO and ROI calculator. It will take you. You have to just create your login. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pleasure.
So any other questions?
You mentioned Windows and you mentioned Linux.
Yeah.
Unix is absent. Did you have?
You have already linked my one question. So very nicely asked question, but the actual thing which he is asking is why you have not touched Unix yet. So VMware supports or virtualization supports Unix, like we support Store Unix, we support Solaris Unix. But if that Unix is on RISC-based architecture, so virtualization is only for x86 architecture. It is not for RISC. So RISC is also having their own virtualization, which is from long back. If you see traditionally, just to cut short the answer is, this virtualization of x86 came from RISC architecture only. So IBM was having their RISC-based virtualization. In 1998, our earlier director have taken it, and there was Stanford University where they have built that hypervisor for x86 architecture. So RISC-based, there is already Unix-based virtualization is there, but whatever we are talking here is it is x86-based architecture. So that's the reason Unix is not there, but we support 95 operating systems as on date. So out of 95, there are SUSE, Red Hat, Ubuntu, and Solaris. We support all these Unix.
Thank you.
Good question. So I can assume that there are two people who are awake.
At the very least.
So anyhow, my question paper will make you awake.
So you know whom to blame if you can't answer the question.
So Giri was telling me that in case if people are not able to score more than 80%, it is your problem, not my guy's problem. So now I am on stake. Please, when you are responding to your questions, at least think about my face and then respond. Okay, thank you very much.